Good morning, everyone. Subject Social Science, Democratic Politics, Chapter 4 Working of Institution, Topic Parliament. In all democracies, an assembly of elected representatives exercise supreme political authority on behalf of people. To understand it in a better manner, let's assume a situation. We all have the executive members, that is, those who are responsible of those who are responsible for framing policies, right? They are well educated, they have experience, they are civil servants. So why don't we give all the powers to those civil servants, the military personnel, the security forces to run any country? Because they are well educated, they know everything about the situation, and they can handle it in a better way rather than a particular individual who is elected just for 5 years, and there are chances that he or she doesn't know about that particular ministry, or they don't have education qualification regarding it, and there are also chances that they don't know about the basics of that ministry. Even then, we give the power to frame policies to ministers, or we can say the elected representatives. Why? It is because in a democracy, the power is in the hand of people. The power is in the hand of people. Always remember, because the representatives, what they are doing, they are framing policies on behalf of people, and these assemblies at national level called parliament, and state it is called the legislature or legislative assemblies. This is the beauty of democracy, that the power is still in the hands of the people, and they have transferred that power to their elected representatives. And what that elected representative is doing, he or she is not just passing an ordinance or framing laws, they are actually representing their constituencies. They are representing the real problem of the people in parliament. And that's why we need a parliament, because it is the final authority for making law in any country. No one is above the parliament, that is, no one is above the public opinion. Although are certain provision of framing laws that you have to pass it by both the houses, then the final assent is given by the president. That is the other side of framing laws. Parliament all over the world can make, this is very important, new laws. They can change existing laws or abolish existing laws and make new one in their place. Suppose a law which was made in 1970, 60, 50 or 40s. Now the situation is completely different. Now the scenario is completely different. So sometimes we have to abolish the existing laws. We have to frame the new laws, or sometimes we just amend a particular law. The recent example is Article 370. Everyone knows it. There is no point of discussion it here. But that is the best example to support the point 2 here. There are other points also which justify why do we need a parliament. The other point is parliament control all money that government has. We all pay taxes in the form of direct and indirect, which you will study in class 11th and 12th. When the tax is collected from the public, it is in the hand of government, right? The parliament decide through budget that how much amount is to be invested in particular sector or ministry. That is decided by the parliament. It is the highest forum of discussion and debate on public issues and national policy in any country. It means that if we talk about the national policies, or we want to change the policy regarding public issue, so the highest forum is the parliament only. So that's why we need a parliament. That's all in this video, and in next video we'll talk about the difference between Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Thank you, study well, and take care.